Hi, KT here with the Lantern Mindfulness Practice. So welcome to drop number 3. Who's KT? What is she up to over here? What's going on over here with her? Well, I am 2 years into a spiritual awakening, 1 year out of a 9-year relationship where we settled on the house and I walked away. 10 years sober, retired after 30 years with UPS. Where I did a lot of managing teams and strategy and people development. And now I have been driving the West in a camper van. Bought that after the relationship ended and in search of what's next. Well, by cracky, I found it. Mount Shasta, California. And so I'm in the process of relocating to Mount Shasta from Santa Fe, New Mexico. And so my intention, what am I doing here? I am documenting my experience in an effort to help you with yours. I'm sharing with you things that worked for me, things that I found inspiring, things that I found helpful, kind of maybe little cheat codes, hacks. Your early days, you're fumbling your way through the dark looking for the light switch is just unpleasant. It's very uncertain. And so if I can provide a little bit of an anchor, maybe it's that buoy in the ocean that you're holding, hey boy, you're holding on to that. It's still rough as hell, right? It's still tricky. But at least you've got something to kind of hold on to because I've shared with you something that maybe was helpful. What I found to be very helpful is the lantern represents really, I think, a great philosophy to adopt is to focus in on your next few steps. Get inspired. I'll help you with that. Figure out what it is. This will help. And take inspired action around that. And don't worry so much about what's going on out there. What's going on in the future? Because we don't have any control over it. We certainly don't have any say in it. Well, we do have a say in it with our thoughts, but there are a lot of things that are outside of our control. And so, focus on the inspired action in the next few steps. And so these 5 steps, gratitude, find something to be grateful for every day. Come on, there's something. There's one thing that went right. Either yesterday, you got a good night's sleep, that one problem you thought you had has been solved, whatever it is, find something to be grateful for and sit in that. And focus on the things in your life that are working. Quit spending energy on the things that aren't working, the things that you're not able to manage or control anyway, and fretting unnecessarily. Put that energy on the things that are working in your life and watch things improve. Gratitude's a big deal. And fun fact, gratitude and anxiety can't exist in your body at the same time. So to start your day with gratitude is a whole lot different than I used to start my day. I was 28 years of alcoholism and a 30-year career. So there were lots of days where I'd wake up with anxiety, like, what happened? Where am I? When's the project due? And I was able to, get myself sober and really have a stronger contribution than maybe some of those early days. But waking up with anxiety is not fulfilling, and gratitude's a good way to overcome that. Meditation, the Calm app. Guided meditations, YouTube guided meditations. There are great gratitude meditations too. That's a great way to start, is to do a guided meditation for gratitude. And you'll start to recognize that good feeling in your body. And then that way, when I say start your day with gratitude, you're, oh, that's the feeling. So you can kind of start to, 2 in 1, a twofer. Then we got journaling, big fan. Figure out a way. We're doing a couple of things right now. What are we doing? We're doing, let's see, we wrote down who we admired, right? Who, why, or what they got, what they do. What are they doing over there that I liked so much? Writing that stuff down. And then episode 2 or drop 2 had us paying attention to how we felt about that when we were writing that stuff down. And if we had any kind of stuff going on, comparison, judgment, keeping you small, language that keeps you small. Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. I mean, you've got all this other stuff you're doing. And so we were paying attention to that. And then we've been paying attention to our self-talk. How are we talking to ourselves? Because again, we're trying to, through our self-care journey, improve that relationship to where it's a cherished relationship like some of our dearest friends. And so writing that stuff down is hopefully getting you guys kind of going. This journal thing is kind of, and I'll tell you what, there are days when I reached for my journal. I'm like, oh my gosh. And the things that came through were incredible. I also think that that's an early way for you to start to tap into inner wisdom and get some stuff other than noise and control from the mind. So meditation and journaling, you just got to keep plodding along, Set a timer for 3 minutes and 33 seconds for a meditation and practice box breathing. Set a timer for 5 minutes in the morning on journaling. Bob's your uncle. Off you go. But just get in the practice. That's why it's called a practice, is we have to practice it. Okay. Move around outside. Go outside and do something every day. Stretch. I don't know, walk around. Take a walk around the block. I like to put my bare feet on the earth every day because that's real good. And you can use the Google for that. But yeah, move around outside. Take care of your body. It's really a neat thing. And there is a neat documentary on Netflix called Human, The World Within. It's 6 episodes. You think your body, you think, have an appreciation of your body now, watch that. It's neat. Our bodies are spectacular and incredibly complex. Like, there's neat stuff. There's a reason why a smell will prompt a memory. You know, just neat stuff like that. I'm kind of a science nerd. But yeah, take care of your bodies. And then last is the self-care. So the self-care journey that we're going to be on next is we've been paying attention to our self-talk, right? Now here's how do we represent ourselves? How we represent ourselves is probably a combination of a lot of stuff, right? The facade, the years, the beliefs, all of that. How do we represent ourselves? So let's find out. Pretend like a journalist approaches you and says, you know what? I am inspired I'd love for you to write your story. Tell me your story. How do you tell it? Write it down. Write it down in your journal. Just write your story as you tell it. And then what helped me, because I rewrote it a couple of times and you might do the same, but just don't think about it. Just start writing. And as I was moving through to make sure that I try and represent the things that happened in my life, was I kind of organized it into like blocks, right? Like, so I had my early years, which you don't really remember a lot with toddlers, in the pre-K and then the kindergarten. Then we got into elementary school, and then junior highs where other things started. You know, I started kind of adopting these. You know, I was a tomboy. I was a little bit of an athlete. The parts where, you're learning things like, my best friend was very attractive in junior high. I learned that boys treated her differently than me. That's when it really started to become prevalent. Then there's the high school. I was in theater. I played volleyball. I put myself through college on a volleyball scholarship. So that was a big part of my identity. So she gets a little bit of the story, just the high school stuff. I didn't get asked to any proms. I got asked to homecoming my senior year, and I was senior class president. That's the only prom I got asked to. So some of these challenges, how do you tell your story? Right? How do you tell your story? How do you represent yourself? So just write all of that down. And if you want to use kind of that episode chunk kind of style, that'll be helpful for something we're going to do down the road a little bit, but not too far down the road. So write your story. I'm going to give it 3 days for that. So tomorrow when we do drop 4 or drop 4 and drop 5, won't have activity other than a refresh that this is what we're doing. So spend some time doing that. That's going to tell you some stuff. And that's going to be like a little scavenger hunt. Right? Like your story is your map, your treasure map. So write it and let's find out where the treasures are. And then you're also going to notice during those episodes what starts to hit. Okay. So I'm giving you some clues on what's coming up. So spend some time writing your story. So that is, see if I'm inspired with anything. A lot of grace in what you're hearing with the self-talk. Don't buy into it. Just give a lot of grace to it. Don't immediately shut it down and try and chase it out, right? Because there's going to be some things that we learn as we start to kind of pay a little bit more attention to what's going on there. So don't chase them out and shut them down. Just pay attention and kind of pay attention to how you feel. Push back on them a little bit. See if there's, something that kind of lights up around where that might be, triggering you, and then we'll use that as part of our treasure map too. But don't chase it away. So, lantern. All right, grab your lantern. Can you see your next steps? I sure can. I'm uncertain in my housing. Content continues. What are yours? All right, can you see them? Then take them. All right, have a great day. Keep on keeping on. Brave souls. More to come. All right. Be blessed.